Hello everyone and welcome back to another Fallout 76 Weapons Spotlight. Today we're going to take a look at what I hope is going to be a fun weapon. It's going to be a Quad Harpoon Gun with 33% VATS hit chance and 50 damage resistance while aiming. My hope for this weapon is that it becomes kind of an efficient farming weapon for a heavy gunner. We all know that heavy gunners use a ton of ammo. That's just how those guns work. So my idea here is that with something like this where we can recover our ammo from our kills, this would be an efficient weapon to run around with when we just want to hit our daily level up for the seasons challenges or whatever the case might be, just general legendary farming or whatever, without burning through thousands of rounds of 50 cal or 5mm, things that you kind of got to grind for. So we'll see how that works out. As always, we're going to start by taking a look at the weapon and the build. Some of you are already familiar with those things, so you might want to skip ahead right into the action. If you do, that's fine. I've gone ahead and put timestamps in to make that easier. But let's go ahead and jump into it with a look at the weapon itself. All right, so what we're dealing with here is a Quad Harpoon Gun with extra 33% VATS hit chance and 50 damage resistance while aiming. I've modified it with the Flechette mod, which basically turns it into a harpoon shotgun. And the reason I did that is because, generally speaking, if you hit things with the flechettes, there's a chance that you'll actually recover more harpoons than you shot. So the idea here is that we want this to be a really ammo-efficient weapon, something that maybe you don't really need a ton of harpoons to use, and you can just use it for basic farming instead of burning through thousands of rounds of 50 cal. My fear is that turning it into a multi-projectile weapon is going to decimate the durability of the weapon. So we'll have to see how it does. We'll see if we can even make it through the full run. If we do, then that's a good sign. If not, then, well, maybe flechettes aren't as efficient as we hope. I also have a reflex sight on it that should help with VATS AP. This is my heavy gun build, which is not strong when it comes to agility and AP, so I think we'll be okay. I've played around with a few of these, and so far they've been fine, but we'll see how it all works out and see how it goes in the end. I am going to run this at low health because this is a bloodied power armor build, so that keeps me, because I have the emergency protocols on my power armor, that makes me faster, it makes my AP refresh better, gives me more durability, so it makes sense to run at low health for this build. And that also gives us, with Adrenal Reaction, a whole lot more damage from the weapon. You can see at 452 damage, that's pretty solid. Let's go ahead and take a look at the legendary perks. When I started this character originally, I did an entirely different build, and the best way to kind of get to the heavy gunner that I wanted was to max out the legendary strength perk so that I could have 15 points in strength. So that's what I did there. Made sense at the time, probably still makes sense because honestly, at the end of the day, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other, whether it's 5 points in that legendary perk or 5 points in another one. What's the difference? It was just easier than swapping points around. Next up, we have Ammo Factory, which of course is going to let me make a lot more ammunition when I craft it. It's not fully maxed out yet. This character isn't that high level, but eventually we'll get there. I like using that on all my characters because it's very efficient that way. Some people with a lot of characters will, of course, only use that on one and kind of make that character their literal ammo factory. That is absolutely a credible way to go about doing things. I, quite frankly, am just too lazy for that. I only have so much time in the day, and I'd rather spend it just getting things done and having fun rather than moving stuff from one character to another. It's way too much hassle for me. I do not have the patience for that, so we're going to use Ammo Factory on all the characters where it's appropriate. Third, we've got Legendary Agility, which I have I've ranked up once so that I could have both maxed out Adrenaline and maxed out Action Boy. That's going to let me refresh my AP quite a bit faster, which is great and very vital for my type of build. I think that's good to be able to really stack up damage on things, and it does work well, and I think we'll see it work well today. On from there, we've got Electric Absorption. Electric Absorption is a pretty cool perk for power armor builds. I ranked it up once, which gives it a 13% chance that my enemy energy attacks are going to recharge my fusion core. Honestly, I think that's enough. The cost in perks to rank it up further than that, or cost in perk coins rather, it goes from 13 to 16, so I'm not sure that just a little bit more of a chance is really worth it. It seems to do just fine. The benefit to this perk for a power armor user, of course, is when you encounter enemies that shoot energy weapons, your fusion core gets recharged, and it gives you a little bit of a health regeneration. So really solid perk to have. You're just not burning through fusion cores all that much, and if you pair that with some other perks, you find that you just don't really have to worry about fusion cores all that much, which I like because I detest grinding for things. So anything that helps me avoid grind makes me happy. From there, we've got Taking One for the Team. This is an excellent perk for heavy gunner users. Heavy gun users in power armor, you're big, you're loud, you're going to get shot at by things. So when you do that, it makes your enemies take more damage. They'll take more damage from you if you're on a team, and they will take more damage from your teammates as well. So it's not a damage increase to your weapon. It is a damage resistance reduction for your enemy. So it is effectively multiplicative and very, very useful. And then last up, we had Legendary Endurance. Pretty self-explanatory. Lets me take more endurance perks, particularly Radicool. But we'll go through all these perk cards here as well. Under Strength, we've got Bear Arms to reduce the weight of our heavy guns a little bit. Heavy gunner perks are all maxed out. Lock and Load for fast reload. Bandolier so that my ammo weight is reduced, and that can be quite heavy. We can see one of my public teammates here sharing Strong Back. I personally would never max that perk out, but if someone on a public team wants to max it out and put it on there, I'm not going to cry about it. Perception is kind of my throwaway stat for this. I've got 1 point in Glow Sight. You know, I thought about maybe putting 1 point in Concentrated Fire on for this, but I'm just probably never going to use it. If this weapon doesn't do good enough with torso shots, then it's probably not worth it in the end, and I think it's going to do fine. Endurance, I've got 3 points in Fireproof to protect from explosives and fire damage, 1 in Radicool to increase my strength the higher my rads are. So yet again, another reason to run at low health and gate that with rads. So you've got more carry weight and some melee damage if you choose to go that route. Under Charisma, I've got 6 points here, 1 for Strange in Numbers, 2 for Inspirational, so that we can amplify mutations a little bit on a team and pick up some more XP. I've also got 3 points in Tenderizer, so my enemies will take more damage after I attack. Now, in a lot of these videos, I run solo with Lone Wanderer. In this case, for the Heavy Gunner, I am on a team. I'm on a public team, on a public server, because that Taking One for the Team perk is really valuable, does a lot more damage. So it makes all the sense in the world to do that. And while I record this, I'm also in the process of doing my daily level up, so, you know, a little more XP doesn't hurt. Under Intelligence, we've got Nerd Rage for more damage and AP refresh and damage resistance at low health. Batteries included, and Power User are going to reduce the weight of fusion cores and energy ammo and plasma cores and all that good stuff. Power User, of course, makes that more efficient. You get essentially double the time out of your fusion cores. Gunsmith, I've only got 2 points in it, so I wish I could have 5 here, because I think we're going to pay for that in durability on this weapon, but you know, if it goes that fast, it probably doesn't make that much of a difference. Stabilized in power armor, our heavy guns are going to get more accuracy, and we're going to ignore a significant amount of armor. That's going to be important. With the Flechette mod on here, we want armor penetration, because instead of one big high damage projectile, we're shooting multiple lower damage projectiles. Agility, we've got Adrenaline and Action Boy, so we can do more damage as we plow through mobs, and Action Boy to get that AP refresh moving. That's going to be kind of key with a weapon like this that's slow firing, so we're going to use it in VATS, but I think even though I don't have a lot of AP, because the shots are slower in between each other, I think we'll refresh in time for that to be useful. Under Luck, we've got One Gun Army. That's going to help to cripple and stagger our enemies, class freak and starched genes so I can keep my mutations and reduce their negative effects, quick hands for the occasional automatic reload, and bloody mess for some extra damage. And speaking of mutations, I do realize as I'm recording this that I forgot to cover mutations, which I usually do in these videos. Honestly, it's the pretty standard stuff. Marsupial, bird bones, so we can jump high and land softly and all that good stuff. They're your pretty standard heavy gunner mutations. Not as many as you would run on maybe a stealth commando or a melee build, but they get the job done, and honestly, they're not that much of a factor here. But, you know, all the common ones are there. I'm sure you can go back and see some of my other heavy gunner videos if you really want to see them, but I'm pretty sure we all get the point by now. Let's go to Whitespring and start killing some things. So going through here, I am going to take a little time to try and see what our harpoon situation is, but I won't spend too much time on that throughout the whole video. I just want to confirm whether or not we actually get multiple harpoons back from using the Flechette mod. And so far, this thing is certainly powerful enough. I'm going to do a quick weapon swap there, so my reload perk speeds back up. That's more like it. Very, very good. And what do we have here? We've got sleeping ghouls and a little bit of lag. And, okay, VATS, now would be a good time to work. Now would be a very good time to work. Okay, so yeah. A little bit of lag there, probably on my end. And let's go, and yeah. Why are you not working? There we go. So that was interesting. Maybe those sights aren't lined up exactly right. I don't know. Let's take a look for some harpoons here and see what we get. Up there's 3. So that works, and 2 there. So yeah, from an efficiency standpoint, if your goal was to go farming with a couple dozen harpoons and just keep picking them up, you could probably do that and be okay. And there's a ghoul that came out of nowhere and gave me a disease. Thank you very much, ghoul. I don't mean that. So there's some caps and another harpoon. And we're not going to spend too much time looting things. I just want to confirm the suspicions here. Do I have a disease cure while I'm at it? Nope. Okay, that's fine. We'll survive. Let's move along here and start killing some more ghouls and get through this place so we can do some more testing. That worked well. So VATS has been pretty good. I did have that one spot there that I think was lag. I'm not sure that I would blame that on an imperfect VATS, and now I'm stuck here in this spot. What is going on here? Okay, that's fine. I'm out. All right, reload, tactical reload. And we've got more harpoons. So yeah, that works very well. Very efficient. So that part of the experiment works. If you're a heavy gunner and you want something that's not going to burn a lot of ammo for runs like this is definitely a good weapon to do that with. Having the quad effect, I think, is really important here, because if I actually had to reload after every shot, I think I would have been in trouble. So usually I get on slow reload weapons, I tend to get myself killed here in the Whitespring at least once on these runs. And you can see there what it's like. So, you know, if that shot had missed and I needed to reload again, that would have probably been a big problem. But because we have quad, we're okay. Let's polish off the rest of the ghouls in here. I think we can see how effective the weapon is. It's one-shotting all these ghouls without any trouble at all. That seems to work very well, and that I attribute to the 33% VATS hit chance perk on the weapon itself. That's going to make it a lot easier to get those hits, because remember, this character only has 1 point in perception, so my VATS accuracy is not going to be very good by default. So that's not a bad effect to have for the purpose we want to use this weapon for. And there's usually a glowing ghoul or a Wendigo back here, but apparently not today. We'll just take a little stroll outside and finish cleaning up the grounds. And there we go. Let's get a critical in at some distance, and yeah, that still works just fine. And those damage numbers, when you see those, they do look low, but remember, that's multiple projectiles stacked on top of each other. So It's not really 79. I honestly don't know how many projectiles it is. I'm guessing it's probably 5 or 8. Probably 5, just seeing the numbers. All right, I think we've got the Whitespring Golf Club cleared out. Let's see what we've got in the deep with some commies and their robot friends. That works. And you are not working. Oh, you gotta love it. And the free aim is not working again. Okay, so yeah, I have very little faith in this weapon when actually aiming down sights at this point. VATS seems to work pretty well, but aiming down sights has not been accurate at all. And all these things are hitting me, and that works just fine because that's going to boost up our damage with the taking one for the team perk. So far, this is easy enough. These guys are going down in 1 shot, 2 shots with a little bit of distance. So that's not too bad. We do pay for range on this weapon a little bit. And there's that missile sniper. Let's run up the fire escape and ruin his day. And yeah, we'll just head on up here and take you out. We got another one down here. All right, VATS critical at a distance. All right, so that much distance, we definitely gave up some damage. That's okay. Still took him out very efficiently because we have a quad. So we didn't have to reload in the middle. That made a big difference. You're dead in 1 shot. Goodbye. Thank you very much. And there goes our grenade. So it sounds like we got some more commies to hunt down. We usually have one back by the corner here. We'll do a little tactical reload. That's on the way down, and you're done in 2. So yeah, I don't know. That's a little weird. We were close there. All right, 2 shots in power armor makes sense. But usually those guys are squishy enough to go down nice and easy, so that's a little odd to me. But I don't know. I don't know if that's maybe some inconsistency with the flechettes. Maybe some of them count, some of them don't count sometimes. But overall, it hasn't been a problem. Because we have a quad barrel, or because we have the quad effect on this, we get quick follow-up shots. That's easy enough. Oh, an unyielding armor piece. That's always useful. It's only 1 star. That's not very useful. And you're not very useful either, Kami. We free aim you. Yeah, okay, that one worked. But overall, that free aiming this has not been consistent when it comes to damage, so I'm not really trusting that. Oh, they're all right here at the top of the steps. Take you down. Looks like we need 2 shots for you, and we'll probably need 2 for the commander. Nope, just 1 this time. All right, so we got a little adrenaline going there. He hit us, so he took a little more damage. And that's going to be all we need to see here in the deep. So far, the weapon continues to perform as expected. Let's head over to Solomon's Pond and kill the Behemoth. Now, this one's going to be interesting. So, I don't really have enough health to let this guy take any whacks at me to get taking one for the team to activate. So, gonna have to try and take him out fairly quickly. I don't know if we can do that in 4 shots. We'll find out. Let's see what we've got here. And there's 1, and it didn't do much. Okay, now we're doing okay. And it looks like we need 1 more. There we go. And yeah, I just fired off an extra one there just by accident. But that's all right. So it took 5 shots to take him down. Honestly, if I had VATS'd that first one, probably only would have been 4, because that first one just didn't count for very much damage, but good enough. All right, time for Scorched and a Scorchbeast. Let's see how we do. The Scorched should be fairly squishy. We shouldn't have a whole lot to worry about there. The Scorchbeast is going to be a little bit of a challenge though, because they're flying around. There's a lot of distance there in the air, so without concentrated fire to target wings and get a cripple and force them to the ground, this could be a little more challenging than I would like. Okay, so level 100 Scorched need a couple of shots. That's not that bad. But as adrenaline boosts up, we do a little better. I think we've got the ground crew cleared out here. So now, and again, yeah, this free aim is not... Now, maybe I'm just missing, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not the best, but I'm not totally useless. But those took some chunks off of him. All right, so even with VATS at a distance, it took some chunks off the health. But I'd love to hit the wings and get him to land. That's what I really want. But we'll just have to wait till he gets a little closer and take a shot when we can. It's not too bad. We really need him a little closer, though, if we want to take him down quickly. Okay, he's hovering. That could be a sign he's trying to land and make a poor life decision. But he could also just be tormenting. And now I'm just missing. This is not the weapon. This is just my bad aim. Now, that might have been the weapon. Yeah, I had you lined up dead to rights there. That should have hit. Oh, so too far away. I'll write it off to being too far away. Is he coming down? Yeah, okay, here we go. These are the kind of life choices I expect Scorchbeasts to make. They're the ones I appreciate. They help them die quicker and help me collect their brains, which are the best food in the game because they boost up your intelligence and give you tons of XP. All right, that looks good. Let's head over to Huntersville. All right, as always, we are going to start with some floaters. Level 75 floater Gnasher needed 3 shots. That's no fun. I thought you'd be squishier than that. And he only needed 2. So I guess we've got some adrenaline going there. That works for me. But we also took a hit from one of them too, so that probably helped us out a little bit as well. We'll head up the road and see what we can get into in town. Let's start off by climbing the water tower. How you doing, buddy? Ready to die? I hope so, because you did. All right, so far so good. 2 shots on a big tough super mutant. We'll take that when we can get it. We've usually got one and a dog walking the street here. Where you at, you filthy streetwalker? There you are. Where's your dog? I hate it when the dog doesn't show up. That means the dog's gonna sneak up on me somewhere. But 2 shots, even free aiming, wasn't too bad. Do a quick reload before we head into the square, and once again, multiple harpoons. I'll take that. And yeah, VATS is definitely the way to go with this weapon if you're going to use the flechettes. When I played around with it without that mod, the free aim worked fine, so I wonder if that is something to do with that mod. But overall, it's done pretty well. Goodbye to you. And goodbye to you. In 2 shots. Little laggy, but that's okay. I don't mind if you want to take an extra nanosecond to die. We'll head in the house here. Head on upstairs. Take care of the guys up here. Ooh, we have 3 of them here this time. That's new. That's a fun and different experience. But 2 of them, 3 of them, doesn't matter. They're all gonna die. All right. Oh, 5 harpoons out of that one. So hitting them multiple times, and I noticed that on the Scorchbeast too. I got 21 back from that. So you definitely get more back the more you hit your enemy. So efficiency-wise, it's very good, but I can also, yeah, just notice the warning sign there. So we didn't quite make it through the whole run. And for the record, these basic repair kits have come from season rewards. I did not pay money for them. I do not recommend paying money for them. In fact, I recommend never ever paying money for repair kits. But we've got 2 more enemies up here. We'll finish them off, and then we'll talk conclusions on this weapon. I think we can all see where it's going to go, but yeah, so here we go. The free aim, just not working that well. VATS is going to keep everything on target. That works much, much better. And 1 left. 2 shots needed. No problem. Out like a light. All right, let's talk conclusions. Normally, I pop myself on top of the APC there in Huntersville, but I went down here to see if I might be able to find a sheep squatch for all of you. Unfortunately, I didn't. It was just dumb stuff. But that's okay. We can stand on top of this building just the same and have a conversation. So, what are my overall thoughts on the weapon? It's a very effective weapon in VATS with the flechette mod. I noticed a few little glitches here and there. I don't know if that's lag on my end or if that was the weapon being glitchy in VATS. Hard to say, but overall, you know, those were few and far between. They were definitely the exception and not the rule. It worked well in VATS. It was definitely powerful enough as well. I did play around with the weapon without the Flechette mod, and I didn't have those VATS issues, so that may be something worth considering. It felt just as powerful to me doing it that way, so there's kind of two ways to approach this one. One is the super ammo efficient way, where you put the Flechette mod on, you loot everything, and you loot most things and collect all your extra harpoons. The advantage to that is you don't necessarily have to stop and loot every single kill to be really efficient with ammo. If you were to take the Flechette mod off and just go with the straight harpoon, you're probably only going to pick up one per kill, but you'll need to loot every kill if you want to be really efficient about it. So it really just comes down to a matter of preference. Now, the trade-off, of course, is the Flechette mod really does hurt the durability of the weapon. So I used this. I ran with one of these for quite a while on New Year's Eve stream on PC without the Flechette mod, and I didn't need to repair it. It was fine. I was hunting Holiday Scorched for at least an hour with this thing, and I had no problem. But here, just making this run, it didn't even survive that, and it was over 100% condition when we started. So that's not really a good sign. If you've watched my videos before, you all know I'm not a big fan of weapons that break super quick. I don't think that's fun, I don't think that's enjoyable, and I think that's something they need to work on. So if you're somebody who runs a million queens all the time and you're just sitting on a bajillion improved repair kits, then maybe you don't care about the weapon condition, and if that's the case, that's totally fine. I don't run a bajillion queens all the time. So, you know, I get an hour or so a day on average. You know, if I'm lucky, I get 2 hours to play. So, you know, when I do streams, I get a little bit longer, but I don't spend that time farming. I don't spend that time doing that stuff. I want to just play and have fun and get done the things I want to get done. So I'm not sitting on a billion repair kits. So condition and durability are a factor for me, but they may not be to you. So if it's not to you, if those things aren't a factor, then this is probably a pretty solid weapon. If they are, then you probably don't want to put the Flechette mod on it, and I'd bet you'd have just as much fun running with this. So with all that said, I think this gun's pretty cool. I really like using it. It serves the purpose that we want. It's an efficient tool for basic farming. Other than that, we're good to go. That, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna call it a day here, and as always, if you enjoyed this, if you had fun and you want to see more, be sure to go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Till then, I'm Fisty McRib.